Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Thursday, the 2nd of October 2025. So mass shutdown firings to begin in a day or two, according to the Trump administration. So the US government has closed down, so Dems have a day or two to come to their senses and get this actually sorted. Stocks celebrate government shutdown by surging to a record high. Today's catastrophic AD print was just the bad news needed to price in even more Fed rate cuts, which obviously Trump is after. Then we've got US stocks added to recent gains despite overnight weakness following the government shutdown. US stocks added recent gains despite overnight weakness following the government shutdown. Outperformance was in the Nasdaq, while sectors were more mixed. And then stocks and bonds bid as traders boost rate cut bets after the bad ADP numbers from yesterday. And finally, we've got sexy silver surges as AI needs shine. You need silver to run AI. And it looks like silver is discounting an even bigger AI bull. So all good news around. Markets up, potentially more cuts in rates. And here we've got this article here that Trump, I really believe that Jerome Too Late Powell, as he calls him, is an obstructionist. And obviously that meme that we saw last week where Powell was being fired carrying a box of his goods and all of his work-related items and taking them home with him. So I don't think that would happen. He'd have to be a fool to fire Jerome Powell. That would really unsettle the markets if he was stupid enough to actually do that. But then, never say never is all I can say. Never say never. Maybe it's just a threat. Who knows? But yeah, it's interesting to see that was out 11 hours ago there. Right, let's have a look at the markets, see how they surged yesterday and kick off with the Dow. So in the Dow yesterday, market coming off the 20-bar moving average, heading back to the all-time highs. It's only one of the markets that hasn't hit a new all-time high, actually. That and the DAX, 30-minute Dow. You can see yesterday we started off to the downside, sitting on the low of the previous day, which was Tuesday. And then off we went to the upside. The market stuck in a sideways range overnight, sitting above the close and the DP and the 50 EMA there as well. So still looking like it wants to follow through on the upside today, probably barring a bit of a pullback at the open. Speaking of the German DAX, let's have a look at that. So the German DAX putting in a big spike yesterday, breaking out of the sideways move that we've seen for a long time. So this is definitely going to be taken out. So all you need is some decent non-farm payroll numbers tomorrow, and the DAX puts in a new all-time high to join the party. Then that will just leave the Dow to make another new all-time high. 30-minute chart, so you can see we traded down to the swan yesterday. A lot of volume in the first hour of the DAX cash market, and then off we went to the upside. Those ADP numbers coming out worse than forecast, which I will just go back and show you actually how bad they were. I meant to cover this when we looked at it, but I got sidetracked by that comment from Trump. So the forecast was to come out at 52k, came out at minus 32, and of course that was good news for this man, which is why we're seeing this here. This is why he's, these sort of hollow threats at the moment. So anyway, the German DAX already at yesterday's high. It's just a matter of taking that out and then continuing to move up to its all-time high. It's got these resistance lines in between, which were former 89% retracements, but once they're taken out, then the markets will continue to make new all-time highs. Let's have a look at the S&P, which does continue to make new all-time highs. So in the S&P, not only did we move higher yesterday, but overnight we've got a new all-time high at 6722, 7,000's on the cards. We've got between now and December, if Santa's going to oblige with his rally, then that will be the case. I mean, we are in October. October is renowned for being a month when things can go pear-shaped. It's now actually, I've heard the other day, it's known as in market trading as Shocktober. So anything could happen in October is the premise of that. But anyway, the markets for yesterday in the S&P, driving up to 6722. Again, if it continues like this until December, where they get the bonuses, then we can expect a lot more on the upside again at yesterday's high already, following a big rally yesterday in the pre-market and then the cash market, where you can see the volume coming in and just driving the market to the upside. Meanwhile, Rachel from accounts is going to be very happy indeed, as is Starmer, or Stasi as he's known. Market moving up yesterday, putting a new record high overnight. The shock would be November for this one, 26. Keep an eye on that. That's when we get the next autumn statement from Rachel from accounts. So 9485.5. That's if she's still got a job, of course. You just never know what's going to happen with this government at the moment. But yesterday you can see they're driving up nicely. Then we had the ADP, then we've got the Dow. And for whatever reason, this market's been ignited to the upside, and it's just storming ahead. So as I said earlier, that we could end up going to 10,000. I wouldn't rule it out by December at all, simply because of the madness that is around at the moment. One other article that I saw is this about how much money is sitting in the money market funds in the US, and it's currently sitting at 7.31 billion. So even if a small percentage of that was to be moved from low risk into the markets, it's going to keep the markets going. 7.3 trillion is a lot of money on the sidelines. So there's a few quid around, despite the economy slowing, etc., in these mutual funds. Right, let's have a look at the US dollar. So the US dollar has been declining for several days, but showing a bit of support today, which is not going to help the metals markets. Saying that, there is a bit of a disconnect at the moment, but it helps if the US dollar is going down to support the metals to move to the upside. So let's have a look at how they performed yesterday. So once again, silver attempted to move higher, but there was some selling coming into the market. The volume has dropped off, so there's less activity. It may be allowed to actually take out today's high and head to that $50 target. At the moment we're sitting around at, let's just get the high for yesterday, 47.86, just trying to get to $48 an ounce, which would be a couple of dollars off the all-time high from 1979 and 2011. So it needs to drive through this area in order to make some progress. Choppy yesterday, it was heading in the right direction, but very choppy there. We've got the DP there overnight. Market's very quiet. Don't forget the Chinese market, metals market, is closed until a week today. And in the gold markets, we got a bit of selling there yesterday. You can see that down here. We are seriously overbought, but that doesn't mean that the market won't continue high. Being seriously overbought is actually a positive for me, because the momentum continues to move to the upside. 30-minute charts, we had the boost to the upside yesterday, but then it's been treading water. So what's the impact of this on the gold-silver ratio? Well, yesterday, obviously, it was a big positive moving to the downside because of gold treading water and silver being allowed to move higher. And overnight, we're still seeing that silver is being favoured more than gold, as the gold-silver ratio there is down in the red and also down to 81.61. Seriously, still way too high. So lots of upside potential there for the silver market. Let's have a look at the DAX 2-minute for yesterday. So in the futures market, before the cash market opened, we see some serious volume there, as we did earlier on in the session as well. Market trying to move up, but then failing, with selling coming in, tried to buy back at the DP, failed. So then we have to have the shakeout. And there's the shakeout in the German DAX. We had another potential sell signal. Market moved down until we saw the buying come in, and then prices holding sideways there. And then moving to the upside. And then we had a potential buy signal there to continue the rally. But this was short-lived in this phase, as the market then put in a potential sell signal, taking out the short. However, they bought back into the market, and you can see it with the volume there. So just a shame that the sell signal appeared, but it did, and then we see the market moving to the upside there nicely. But unfortunately, this volatility here and whipsaw action changed that. But again, you can see the volume, can't you, how they actually bought into this precursor to the move to the upside. So let's go over to the US. We had those ADP numbers at 130, which we will see there. This is where they came in, but it didn't impact the market that much at that time. And then, of course, the Dow moved higher following that, and off we went and stayed on the upside. Unfortunately, because we're already green in the pre-afternoon session, the green dot didn't appear there. But if it's green, then it's generally a case of the markets are going to continue in that direction, and vice versa if it's red on the initial opening. So there you get into the evening there, market just moving sideways to higher. Let's have a look, see where we are overnight. And at the moment we've got some resistance here. You can see that there, the market moving up. We've got a lot of volume, but then the market closes off the high, and we're stuck at the high of yesterday. Market needs to stay above this, but I suspect, like most mornings this week, when the cash market opens, you'll see a bit of a shakeout first, markets to settle, and then move to the upside. Right, that's it for this one. It's also the day before the non-farm payrolls as well, so it could be choppy and sideways as well. Just keep that in mind. Right, that's it for this one. Have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.